Good morning, good evening, good day, and welcome to Dramabuds. I'm Francine. I really love K-dramas, and I'm going to spend as much time as I want talking about them. Welcome to my podcast. So, hello everyone. So if you didn't know, I'm kind of experiencing a K-drama slump right now. Like I don't feel like watching anything, and I'm currently watching mostly ongoing shows. Vincenzo, Navilera, Taxi Driver, and Law School, and I'm also watching Pinocchio in 1.5 times speed while I'm doing other things, but I'm not really enjoying it. Like I'm just watching it to have something in the background and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit tired of watching K dramas. I can't find anything that's already fully released that I'm interested in watching. And you may ask, like, why don't you just go back to watching Western shows? I mean, it's easier. I don't have to actually watch it. I can just listen. I don't need the subtitles anymore. But I'm just okay. I used to watch comedies mostly. I was like not a sitcom fan, but comedies like Western humor. It was okay with me back then, and then in a way, I am still more into Western humor than I am with Korean humor, as you may know from my other episodes about K dramas. Um, but I tried looking for just looking around on Twitter and Facebook, like what are the shows people are talking about nowadays, and I'm just not interested in the stories that they tell and how they tell them. I don't know how to really explain that. I think I mentioned it though in my 18 again episode that their culture and their values just don't resonate with me anymore. Like, I mean, I get why these may be interesting stories, but I just realized that the way they do things and then how they approach certain problems and even the problems that they have, I don't really relate to them. I don't know. I never realized that before because I wasn't exposed to much like Asian media. I mean, aside from anime, I used to be an anime fan, but never as deep as others, definitely. And yeah, I just, I never realized it that the reason why I was never so invested in watching a lot of Western shows either was because I just didn't relate to what they were going through and their, I don't know, their culture and their values. Yeah. And okay, so maybe I want to stay with Asian media. Okay, cool. But I'm not typically a fan of Korean movies. You'd think like, okay, if not K dramas, then K movies. But honestly, I'm really not a fan. Most of the ones that people say are like, oh, this is really good. Because they tend to be very serious, very dark, very violent, and all that. Like film festival type movies. Those are the ones that people say are really good. And I'm just not into that. Because like, you know, I don't like comedies in K dramas, but I pretty much only like comedic Korean movies. As in, I swear, the only ones I really enjoyed are like Along with the Gods, the both of them. Extreme Job, I like that movie. Train to Busan, which is not a comedy per se, but it's really good for a zombie movie. I have to admit, like it made me think, and like the way the mechanics of how they survived on that stupid train, pretty well executed. I don't know. It was good. It was good for a zombie movie. Really, I had no expectations. But okay, the reason why I don't like dark or serious or heavy movies is because I usually watch movies to pass the time. So I want to be entertained, not disturbed. And you know, since I mentioned that I just want to be entertained, I ended up discovering the world of variety shows. So, okay, we are taking a break from the K drama criticism and all that. Like, today I will talk about variety shows. I feel like I need to introduce this world to people because it's, there's a lot. There's a lot that you can, there are a lot of options, essentially. Like, what I may like, others may not like, but they'll find a variety show that will sit well with them, or something, whatever. So what are variety shows, you may ask? um Basically shows that feature real people and entertainers in various, formats and stuff, which I will go through. I'll go through some of the formats that I can identify and some of the shows that I heard are good or those that I've already watched. So, a lot of them are reality shows. Like, literally reality shows, not like Western reality shows. Wait, yeah. Well, not a bit like that. Okay, some of them just like showing real people and their lives and their homes, and there's this also a sub genre of reality shows where like people are placed into a situation. Whatever, I'll explain that later. Okay, first reality show that I think a lot of people like, but personally I don't watch, is I Live Alone. Literally people living alone. Like there are cameras all over. People, by the way, when I say people, I mean celebrities, okay? Literally, they're just cameras around their home and they just go about their day. I think, based on the few clips I've watched on YouTube. This is where Kim Ji-hoon, Baek Hee-sung from Flower of Evil, got caught watching pirated movies, I think. So, yeah, pretty interesting, this show. And I think people like it because this is where celebrities can show like a super stripped down, simple image. Like, literally I woke up like this image. So I think that's what people enjoy about it. But I personally don't watch it. Another show that I know a lot of people enjoy is Return of Superman. So basically fathers and their children. Just follow them around. Yeah, there are cameras around their home. And it's so cute because, like, of course, babies or toddlers would be afraid of, like, random men and big machines. So they hide the cameramen in, like, tents and whatever sheets they could find so that the babies don't get afraid or aren't afraid of the cameraman. It's pretty cute. And yeah, I mean, if you like cute children, then this is that show. I honestly only watch the clips of Tablo, the rapper from Epic High, and his daughter Haru, but that was back in 2013 and 2015. Epic High plug here. one of my favorite K hip hop groups, I guess. They're not really K-pop to me, but they have an OST for Scarlet Heart. It's one of my favorite OSTs. Yeah, listen to Epic High. I genuinely think just genuine artists, Anyway, moving on. So here's the sub-genre of reality shows where, yeah, celebrities are placed in an unfamiliar situation. So, Unexpected Business. This is kind of new. Jo In Sung from It's Okay, That's Love, That Winter, The Wind Blows. Yeah. And Cha Tae-yoon from Along with the Gods, the producers. What's that? Matrimonial Chaos? The one with Bayduna? Anyway. Yeah, those two guys, they're good friends in real life. They ran a local supermarket / convenience store / snack bar for like 10 days. That's it. That's the premise of the show. They just run it. Like, deal with the locals who know where to find the items and what their prices are better than they do, and just cooking ramen and I don't know. Yeah. And they also feature like different celebrities who they're close with in real life because they're very like friendly celebrities actually. It's a very chill show. It's very chill actually, the vibe. They just sometimes they have like deep conversations because they're pretty senior they're like seniors in the industry now. So of course the ones they invite are usually they're juniors, So sometimes that ends up with some nice conversations. But it's a very chill show overall. Speaking of very chill shows, we also have House on Wheels, which is currently airing its second season right now. Song Dong Il, the the Reply series father, as we all know, and for various roles. Kim Hee Won, who I don't know from anything except from saying he was Mr. Park, the one who was really cruel to Django in episodes 8 to 10, as if I memorize all the episodes. But along that episode range, actually the corrupt one, you know him. And of course, Im Shiwan, my love, my baby, my Django, always. So these three camp in a trailer with different guests that they invite every episode. And yeah, they spend all day, they cook, they nap, they wake up, maybe they go somewhere else. Then they go back and cook, and then eat, and then talk. That's it. Like that's just the whole flow of the show. Very, very, very chill. It's pretty fun. And I don't know, based on the preview of the guests in the second season, like I seem to know all of these celebrities and actors. So cool. I'm very excited to see all the other episodes in the future. This is the second season though. The first season had Yo Jin-gu instead of Im Shi-wan. And I will probably go back to that someday because I do also love Yo Jin-gu. Yeah, House on Wheels is fun. And lastly, for the reality shows, my personal favorite. Like this is for me the variety show that started it all. Kang's Kitchen. So I'll talk about New Journey to the West much later, but Kang's Kitchen essentially features the New Journey to the West cast, like a bunch, comedians and singers, idol singers and stuff, and they go somewhere and run a restaurant together. Like they each learn a recipe. Some of them are cooks. Some of them are the waiters. Lee Sugun is a dishwasher / vegetable chopper / babysitter / also waiter sometimes. Like, it's just so much fun because I love seeing people get stressed out. such a fun show, and the food looks good. These people are not chefs, but they're running a restaurant. It's so fun. Kang's Kitchen, my favorite variety show. Anyway, so next genre-ish of variety shows are the talk shows. So I don't know, it's in the word, guests don't really do much but talk and promote whatever they're promoting at the time, whether it's themselves or an album or a TV show or movie, whatever. Okay, so I don't know a lot of these. I don't watch them really because it's very dependent on whether or not I care about the guests. Yeah. So Radio Star is a pretty popular talk show. I don't really know the hosts and all that. So they just talk to the guests, really. They just ask questions to the guests. Sometimes the guests perform. I will suggest some good performances though. First of all, Kang Hanul, love of my life, Kang Hanul, performed Thorn by Buzz. I would go into the history of that, but he performed. Kang Hanul guested like 3 times. It's his 3rd time recently because he's promoting a new movie, Rain in Your Story, coming out on April 28th. I don't know where I'll be watching that show with that movie with English subs, but I will find a way. Anyway, so yes, Kang Hanul is singing Thorn. He's amazing, as always, but he's so good. And he sang it in front of the original singer. Like, the guts to do that, man. But of course, he pulled it off because I love him. And another cool performance is Ball 4 or Ball Palgan 4. She rebranded. Ball 4 performing Psycho by Red Velvet, the K-pop song. It's just really good. If you don't know Wolfor in the K-drama world, what OSTs have she done? She did one for startup. She did a startup OST. She sang The Covered Up Road for Missing. See, I know people's OSTs. Anyway, next talk show is Knowing Brothers, also known as Men on a Mission, also known as Ask Me Anything. Features the fixed cast are Kang Ho-dong, Lee Soo-gun, Hee Chul from Super Junior, Min Kyung-hoon, the lead singer from Buzz, who I mentioned, saw Kang Han-ul singing his song right in front of him, and various others who I can't describe all that well. They pretend that they're classmates in a class, and the guests are transfer students who introduce themselves and their talents, and then these are more of the fixed segments in Knowing Brothers that I know of, where the guests tell this crazy story, and then the classmates, the other people, the fixed cast plus the other guests have to guess what happened in the story there. Yeah, that's fun. And then there's also this game towards the end where they pair up, the classmates pair up, and then they guess a song where the melody from one song and the lyrics from another song are mashed up. So they have to guess, one person in the pair has to guess the melody, where the melody came from, and the other person in the pair has to guess where the lyrics came from. So it's chaotic. It's a pretty fun show, but once again, very dependent on the guests. If I could suggest a clip to watch, I would suggest watching the 18 Again cast, Lee Do-yoon, Kim Han-ul, Yoon Sang-yoon, performing Summer Again by SAK3. Just they're dancing, okay? Kim Han-ul, Yoon Sang-yoon, and Lee Do-yoon are dancing. So cute, so funny. So good. Watch that clip if you can. Okay, next genre. Yes, I call these genres of variety shows are travel shows. Yeah, it's in the name. A group travels somewhere and they explore the area. It's kind of like a international tourism kind of show as well. It's kind of sad though that these shows aren't a thing anymore now, because it's sad, because these are super fun, just watching people in a foreign country struggling sometimes. Okay, whatever, I'll describe that in the show I'll talk about later. But yeah, travel shows sadly cannot be done nowadays, but someday. Anyway, so here are some of the travel shows that I liked. First is Trans-Siberian Pathfinders. Lee Sun-kyun, my mister. Kim Nam-gil, Fiery Priest, Live Up to Your Name, and others who are not as famous as them. Lee Sang-yob is there? I don't know what his show was, actually. Is he the guy from Once Again? Or Homemade Love Story? One of those makjangs. He's in a big makjang recently. I'm not sure. Anyway, so those guys ride the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia. That's 12 whole days of... Not 12 whole days entirely in a train. Sometimes they stop somewhere and stay in a certain area for a day or two just to see the sights, I guess. They went to Lake Baikal, which is gorgeous. Gorgeous place. I'd love to go there someday. But yeah. And it's just dealing with being in a cramped space with dozens, hundreds of other people for many days in a row, and they're not in the luxury cars, of course. They're just in the economy class, I guess. And it's just gross. There's no shower, I think, in their car, so they have to go somewhere else, to go to another carriage and pay for it just to shower, and I'd die. I would just freak out if I could not take a bath, and I would be stuck in a cramped space with so many strangers for an extended period of time. The mere thought of breathing the same air as others nowadays freaks me out. I could not do what they did on this show, but it's surprisingly fun because I don't know, they're all friends. Like it's basically Lee Sun Kyun inviting Kim Nam Gil, and then the two of them like invite their other friends and stuff. And I don't know, it's just fun because like I didn't think they would have fun personalities because they're old men, except for Lee Sang Yob, who's kind of young. Just a bunch of old men. So I didn't think it would be fun, but it was. So Trans-Siberian Pathfinders, pretty cool. Another travel show that I loved is Youth Over Flowers. Gosh. So basically, a group of like actors. Yeah, mostly actors now. Yeah, most of the seasons are actors. So a group of actors are quote unquote kidnapped, but it's not really kidnapped. It's planned by their managers and the whole team of Na Yong Suk PD, who is the PD of the show, the director of the show. And so they're kidnapped and they're sent to a foreign country with like a limited budget. They only have like a few $100 whatever dollars a day, and they have to budget that. And then there's a goal. Like you have to go to this landmark or experience this thing in that country or in that continent. And with your limited budget, and all you have are literally the things that you brought, like you had when they kidnapped you. Like, okay. The 3 seasons that I watched ish, but not completely, are when Jo Jung Suk, Hospital Playlist, of course, Kang Hanul, Love of My Life, of course, Jung Woo, he was in Reply 94, right? And Jong Sang Hoon, who I'm sorry, I just don't know him. These 4 people were kidnapped and then sent to Iceland. And then, where was I going with the story? I think it's, the things they brought. So, Hanul came from the Blue Dragon Awards that night. Like, he was in a tuxedo and stuff. Like, he had nothing. And then suddenly they said, well, you're going to Iceland. Just, wearing your tuxedo from an award show. You're going to Iceland with nothing. Like, really nothing to him. Aside from the passport and, and like phone that, he had that his manager brought. But it's ridiculous. And it's so fun to see them so stressed out. So that's one season. Okay, another season is the Reply 1988 boys. The boys from the Sangmundong squad. They went to... Wait, no. Not them. Well, them. It was Junyol, Bogum, Go Kyung-pyo, and An Jae-hong. Am I right? It wasn't Lee Dong-wi. So yes, I was right. Those 4. They were sent to Africa. Wait, let me check where specifically. I think Namibia. Namibia and Zimbabwe. So they came from like a cast vacation in Thailand, and they thought like, why would anything happen? We are on a cast vacation, and then NaPD went to Thailand to kidnap them in Thailand and take them to Africa. Like the lengths that this team goes to just to successfully pull off this kidnapping thing is so funny. And okay, another season, Winner, the K-pop group, not K-drama actors, sorry, but this is my favorite season actually. They went to Australia. It's more fun because they're bandmates, they live together. They're not just friends. They live together. It's more stressful. But anyway, so NaPD, I don't know how he found a way to convince the Winner members that they got a car commercial deal, that they were going to be endorsers for a car. So they were going to film a commercial, and then they were on this car on the rig, right? And then when they realized like, where is this rig going? It was going to the airport. And then They saw the person in front of in the ring was Nappy D, and the moment that they saw him, they knew. Because, like, one of the members, oh, okay, we're going to the full story. Okay. So, one of the members of Winner, Mino, is a fixed cast member in New Journey to the West. So, he's very, very close to Nappy D now. And then they won the big game of the season. They got the Dragon Balls. I'll talk about New Journey later. Anyway, so they got the Dragon Balls. And you can make one wish whenever you win the Dragon Balls. So his wish was to take his bandmates, for them to go on Youth Over Flowers and be taken somewhere and have a trip together. Right? So, wish granted. Like, they were prepared, like, for weeks in advance. They always had, like, bags with toiletries, all the things that they would need, like chargers and underwear, just in case they got kidnapped today. Just in case. But the managers and Nappy D found a way to, like, get them at their most vulnerable. They're dressed up for a commercial. They have nothing with them. And then suddenly, okay, it's the day of reckoning. I'm kidnapping you. So all of their preparation and paranoia for naught. Okay, they got kidnapped while shooting a fake commercial. And that was best surprise. It was so elaborate and so funny. But yeah, I forgot to talk about the actual traveling. So yeah, as I mentioned, they have like a limited budget, and then they have to, they have a goal essentially to achieve while they're there. Oh, in Iceland, it was crazy because, like, it was winter there. It was super cold, right? And then there was a snowstorm, but they had to keep driving because the destination was like several days away. And they had a reservation at some point. And so, like, Jo Jung-suk had to drive in, like, the darkness in the middle of a snowstorm. It was so scary, but see, sometimes they're like crazy adventures here, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, so the last genre, I guess, game shows. It's in the name. Usually it's like a fixed cast and they play games, and sometimes they feature guests. So I'm pretty sure the most famous one is Running Man. Like, most people, I think, know about Running Man. Yoo Jae-suk, just like the biggest, one of the biggest MCs in Korea. Lee Kwang-soo, he's in Live. It's Okay, That's Love. You're My Friends. Sound of Your Heart. Like, Kwang-soo acts, apparently. He's a pretty serious actor. Song Ji-hyo from Was It Love? Princess Ours. Those are the only shows I know of her, sorry. And Kim Jong-kook, the really buff guy. I'm pretty sure people know him. He was in The Producers. He was that really buff guy, the one who had like a love line with Isadora from Another Miss O / Jennifer from Still 17. You know her. You know this guy. Anyway, so them plus many others. Like, this is a huge fixed cast. That's why I can't really get into it, because there's so many personalities fighting for attention. And then yeah, they usually feature like guests who are promoting something, or sometimes they have like semi-fixed guests. Like Kang Hana, for some reason, is a semi-fixed guest on Running Man. Like recurring guests. I guess that's how you call them. Anyway, so they just play various games. Like, they often have like team games, and they have a situation, and it involves thinking sometimes and strategizing. And then there's the famous, like, the name tag game, where they chase each other and then tear off the name tags on the person's back. And then they attach rules to these sometimes, which this show involves thought. I mean, I know I don't have to think. They think because they're the ones playing the game. But I don't like keeping track of rules, I'm here to watch people be stupid, not to think. Oh, Lord. Okay, so Running Man. Huge variety show. A lot of people know this. Anyway. Okay, here is one of my favorite variety shows, 2 days, 1 night. So the fixed cast has Kim Son Ho of Startup fame, our current Big Sang Best Supporting Actor nominee. If you're listening to this in the far future, I don't know what happened, but I am very proud of him. Very, very proud of him just for being nominated. The only nominee from that show. Just remember that. That entire show, only one nominee. Anyway, so Kim Son Ho and others. I'm sorry, there are a lot. There's 6 of them. I love them all, but I'm just talking about the actors that I can talk about. Anyway, it's kind of half game show, half travel show. Like they used to go to different regions in South Korea and promote tourism, local tourism, and they do missions for the locals. It used to be like that, but then because there's so many restrictions nowadays, they tend to stay in like one set or one area. But they still try to travel to like different regions, I guess, or promote like local delicacies and specialty stuff. But yeah, it's not as involved as it used to be. And like the fixed games are like every single episode they have a mission. They have a game so that people can eat lunch or dinner. And there's also a game on who sleeps indoors and who sleeps outdoors. 2 days, 1 night. They have lots of crazy, stupid games. Love this show, love the show. Anyway, and the last show that I'll really talk about today is my absolute favorite, my home in the variety show world, New Journey to the West. Features Kang Hodong, just one of the biggest, most famous MCs in the Korean entertainment industry. Lee Soo-gun, funny small guy. An Jae-yoon used to be a fixed cast here before, the divorce scandal, whatever. But he's taking a break. And then, yeah, there's always like 6 of them. There has to be 6 of them because they're always splitting into teams and pairs and stuff. Anyway, so they used to go abroad. And then they travel there, and then they would play games, for food or for the Dragon Balls. Like I mentioned the Dragon Balls, right? So the Dragon Balls, there's 7 of them. And then every season, they have an attempt where they play, like, one person is chosen to take a challenge. Like, for Hodong, there were like 6 packets of different brands of ramen. 6 or 5. 5 packets of different brands of, Korean ramyun. And then he could smell them and he could touch each of them, but he could only taste a few of them, like one of them to make sure to guess, to the best of his ability. And then he had to identify 5 different brands of ramen. Imagine that, just by smell and look alone. And he did it. He achieved it. So yeah, each individual gets like a challenge, or sometimes in pairs, or sometimes the whole cast is challenged to do something. And then if they succeed in that challenge, they get a Dragon Ball. And then if they win 7 of those Dragon Balls, the crew will what do you call that? Fulfill any wish that they asked for. They rarely win, just so you know. It's a very stupid show. Like it's a lot of like guessing games. Like they're all lined up and each of them is like flashed a person or a character and they have to guess who it is like in 3 seconds, and it's a lot of that. And then every time they lose, like they have this huge spread of food, like 10 dishes, and then if they get everything right, everything that's still on the table is theirs to eat for lunch or dinner. But if they get something wrong, they have to take 1 dish out. They usually just never eat. Like they usually have to, negotiate with Napidi just to get like a few bites in or something. So yes, very stupid game. It's a little bit like a costume show as well. Like they play games and so there are like various costumes. Like 6 costumes, one for each of them. And it's ranked in terms of like difficulty. But difficulty is like how much of a hassle it is or how embarrassing it is to wear it. I cannot describe the costumes and give justice to how funny they are. but yes, some of them, they're just super funny. And then they play a game to choose, which costume they're going to get. And sometimes like, they're going to say, oh, Kyuyun, this costume is perfect for you. If you don't take this costume, like no matter how big of a hassle it is, like if you don't take this costume, we're going to be so disappointed. So even if like he wins the game first and he has lots of options, everyone's just going to peer pressure him into taking the costume that's meant for him. So funny. It's so funny just to watch the peer pressure working on other people. But yes, New Journey to the West is very, very dumb. It's my favorite show because I'm really not expected to think. And also, this is where the spin-off of Kang's Kitchen came from. Like this cast, all 7 of them, because they got. So first, the cast before Kyuyun enlisted was Hodong, Lee Soo-gun, Eun Ji-won, leader of Six Kiss. I don't know if I pronounced it that right. Jackie. Also the guy from Reply 1997. That guy from 1997. Him, and then An Jae-yoon, of course, Kyuyun, and Mino from Winner. I mentioned him earlier. So those 6 were the original cast. And then Kyuyun had to enlist in the military, so he was replaced with P.O. He was from Block B before, and he's the concierge, the receptionist in Hotel de Luna. And he was also in More Than Friends. So there, that guy. You know him. So he was replaced with him. And then when it was Kang's Kitchen 3 and Kyuyun was done with this enlistment, he just came as a surprise. Because like, at first they were running what was it? What was their store before the pizza place? Noodles? It was a noodle store, right? So they were running a noodle store. And then the next day, when they came back to the restaurant, it was a pizza. It's a pizza place now. And then, surprise, Kyuyun was here. And apparently, during his breaks, his leaves in the military, he was just learning how to make pizza. So that the moment it was time for Kang's Kitchen to film, he was ready to join the crew. So that was the only time all 7 of them were together, sadly. Anyway, where was I with this? Kang's Kitchen, right? Mentioned that. It's one of my favorite variety shows. And also like various other variety show-ish small shows on NaPD's channel. Just search channel Full Moon. That's also where the hospital playlist behind the scenes stuff are. So if you're looking for those, channel Full Moon on YouTube. That guy. And they sub things like a day or 2 days after. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, NaPD. Yeah. So I think I mentioned my favorites: New Journey to the West, Kang's Kitchen, 2 Days, 1 Night, and Youth Over Flowers. Like, all of these have casts that are close to each other, I think. And that's why it's fun to watch them, because there's no awkwardness between them, really. Like, at the very beginning, I guess, or at the very start of the show. But as time passes and they become even closer to each other, like, it's just so much fun when they're already super comfortable with each other. I'm not really a fan of those that just feature guests, like Running Man or Knowing Brothers. I only watch if I know and I like the guest, but I really don't feel the chemistry within the cast all that much. I don't know, because if the guest isn't receptive to their brand of humor or to the format, then it's not that enjoyable. Like, if the guest is boring, they're kind of gonna bring the energy down, or they're just going to be like, they don't shine because the fixed cast overpowers them because they're just not that funny or entertaining. Unlike the fixed cast, where you already know how comfortable they are, you already know their dynamic with each other, so it's always like, it's gonna be fun no matter what. Like in New Journey to the West, I just have to describe this iconic moment. So Kyuyun and Unjiwon almost got into a fight because they were arguing about whether or not when someone visits your house, should you treat them as like friends where they help you with setting the plates and then washing the dishes after and stuff? Or do you just treat them as guests and you do everything for them? Like Kyuyun was treat them as friends. They wash the dishes because like Mino and P.O. visited his house and that's what they did. And then when Jiwon heard about that, he got kind of mad or like he just started arguing with Kyuyun. It's like, don't treat them like that. They're your guests. Why are you making them do things? You should be doing things for them. And they almost like that argument. They were kind of drunk. That argument lasted for hours. Like, people were afraid like, is the cast, is this all going to fall apart? Are they going to get into a fight or something? Anyway, yeah, that's a super funny thing. And that wouldn't have happened, or like that would have been like a major issue and not a funny thing if they weren't already close with each other, or if they didn't know that Jiwon's just like that. We just have to let him be, He just gets into people's business a lot, but he's not a bad guy. Like, if you didn't know that about him, you might have taken that personally, and then, the dynamic is ruined. But nah, they're all still friends. It's also fun when the cast is close with the PD, the director, the producer, and the crew. Like, it's kind of like breaking the fourth wall, Even the producer, even the cast, the crew, they're all they're all characters in the show. That's super fun. So, fine, I'll tell you about this incident as well. In 2 Days, One Night, Din, he's the rapper. He's a rapper, but mostly a variety star. And he's very, like, competitive and cunning and overzealous sometimes. And he went ahead of the producers. Like, there were padlocks in the set. And then, if every time they win a game, they would get a hint to unlock the padlock. But he just went through every combination one by one until he opened all of the padlocks in the set. And then the producers were like, oh well, I mean, we spent 2 weeks preparing all these games and these hints for you, but I guess you can just do that and you can just do whatever you want now. It was so funny because like you could see at first he was happy, he was smug about it, that he just managed to achieve this out of luck. And then, like, as the guilt set in, like, he just kept trying to fill the airtime, trying to be funny, trying to apologize to the crew. And then he kept trying to get, like, Bang PD, that's the name of the director, the producer, kept trying to get her attention through the walkie-talkie and saying, like, Bang PD, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was just so funny because, like, even the crew is a character that interacts with the cast. It's just funny. It's fun. I love 2 Days, One Night for that. So, overall, like, what makes watching these shows fun? I think it's really just seeing actors and other celebrities I know in a different light. Like, honestly, we're not just, I guess I'll speak for myself, but I'm not just interested in their projects, in their movies or TV shows or their music. Like, I'm interested in them as people. It's nice to know that these are not like, they're not caricatures. They're not just actors. They're also people with their own personalities and interests and stuff. And honestly, okay, I would not have fallen for Kang Hanul as deeply as I did if I didn't find out that he was just like a sweetheart, a dork. He has no poise, no pretenses. He's so candid about everything and he's an amazing singer. Like, if I did not find that out about him through these variety shows, I would not be here. Guys, Kang Hanul is everything to me. And variety shows also help celebrities show a different side of them. Like, especially if their work gives them a certain image. Like, maybe this person always plays a villain role or, jealous ex-girlfriend role. But through variety shows, they get to show that, hey, I'm actually a really, like, chill person. I'm a cool guy. Don't worry about me. So, they like it helps them not get typecasted, because maybe writers or casting directors will know that this is the actual personality of the person, so maybe they might fit a role that's different than what's always being given to them. And honestly, sometimes I just want to turn my brain off. And even like a light show, a comedy or a rom-com will make me think. Like, I'll think about the story or the characters and all that. And I don't want to think. I just want to watch people being stupid. So that's why I love variety shows, because I just want people being stupid, but not, being stupid in the setting of a story. So there. If you're tired of K-dramas and you still want to watch something in Korean, there are lots of different kinds of variety shows out there. I'm a bit of a game show fan and a travel show fan, but you might be a reality show person, Or maybe you'd like some of the other stuff I didn't mention. And there's so many of them. I literally could not keep track if I wanted to. And honestly, though, it might be a little difficult to grasp Korean humor at times. Like, yeah, if you're looking to be entertained in that way. But, if you like comedies, like comedic K-dramas or comedic movies, like, you kind of get the humor. And this specific setting, variety shows, this is where slapstick comedy works for me, okay? Because my brain is off. I will laugh at anything. So if it's someone falling over themselves, I will laugh at it. That is the value of variety shows in my life. So that's it for me today. I really swear, I told myself I'm going to keep this one short. What do I have to say? Like, what is there to talk about when I'm talking about variety shows? But unfortunately, I know I should have known myself better. So, earlier I mentioned Korean movies. So if anyone has suggestions, recommendations, I'll try more serious stuff. I'll try to have a brain sometimes. but yeah, I'll try to watch more Korean movies. So if anyone has suggestions, Facebook comments, YouTube comments, go for it. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you for listening, even if this is not about K-dramas. And I will see you soon with K-drama related content, okay? I will see you soon.